Orrin Porter Rockwell was one of the most colorful members of the early church. In fact, when he died, he was the oldest member of the church, which a lot of people don't recognize today. They've forgotten. He actually joined the church on April 6, 1830, after the meeting of the first 6 members there at Fayette, New York. There were, we think, upwards of maybe 200 people in attendance at that meeting, although there were only 6 official members required by New York State. Incidentally, the original organization papers of the church are missing, so we hope somebody will go looking for them. At any rate, Porter Rockwell was baptized right after that meeting, along with other members of the family, of the Smith family and others, Whitmers. And Porter Rockwell always thought of himself as Joseph's younger brother. He was born 8 years after the prophet in 1813. By the time he passed away, though, 65 years later, he was the oldest living member of the church in terms of longevity in the church, the last one that survived from that date. He was also had been the bodyguard to the prophet Joseph Smith. Joseph had sent him out campaigning with the 12, and so he wasn't there immediately at Carthage at the time of his death. If he had been, he would have easily given his life for the prophet and probably taken 10 or 15 men with him. He was that tough. They used to sing about Porter Rockwell around the campfires of Utah. We didn't have some of the major criminals, such as Billy the Kid and so on in Utah, because of Porter Rockwell. His reputation as being a man who was given a blessing by the prophet Joseph Smith that as long as he never cut his hair, he'd never die by another man's hand. That pretty well scared off Indians and outlaws and other people that didn't want to take him on. And there's some famous early stories of gun battles in which he survived, which seemed pretty unlikely at the time. This is a document that was done late in life. As far as I know, it's the only document that exists today signed by Porter Rockwell. It couldn't write his name, so it's signed with an X. But what it is it's an answer to a complaint that he stole cattle from the Army. He or his attorney took 4 pages to write legal size that he didn't do it. And so it had to be notarized at the end as a statement. And we know it's his ex because the man that wrote it out for him was William Clayton, who wrote Come, Come Ye Saints, and a good friend of his. And the way he put it was, he said, Territory of Utah, County Salt Lake. This is dated in 1875, 3 years before Porter's death. O. Porter Rockwell, being duly sworn, says that he has read the foregoing. And Clayton had to add a little caret and added the word heard. Heard read the foregoing. And you can see that he's notarized Porter's X, which is over here on the document. Porter had a fascinating life. He had 4 wives, but he didn't spend a lot of time with either one of them. He died at the Colorado Stables, which is where the old Center Theater used to be. I guess it's the Broadway Theater now in Salt Lake. He had the Colorado Stables where he sloughed off. And there was a full inquiry made at the time of his death. Nobody could believe he died of natural causes, but they found out he did. He was 65 years of age, which was pretty old for that period. And the inquiry found that he didn't die of natural causes. At his funeral, Joseph F. Smith, a member of the First Presidency, was the main speaker. And he's quoted by the Salt Lake Tribune, not the friend of the Mormons necessarily, at the time, as saying that Porter had his little faults, but taken all in all, he was a great bodyguard to the prophet Joseph and later Brigham Young, and has earned his place in celestial glory. And the Tribune, in reporting those words, said that was a kind tribute from one outlaw to the memory of another, referring to Joseph F. having more than one wife, had 5. At any rate, Porter Rockwell probably wouldn't have made it in the church today. He had some word of wisdom problems and other things. But the word of wisdom was just that when he died. It wasn't until 1880 that they canonized it. Interesting man, and very important, and we could talk more about him as time goes on.